Alright, hello everyone, welcome to Nexus Gaming Series. I'm your host, DB Smiley, bringing you the Division AEast matchup between HOTUS and ReGen Phoenix. A lot of playoff implications on the line. Taking a quick look at those standings, you can see that ReGen Phoenix currently finds himself at 7th place, holding on to a top 8 position. On the other hand, below them, HOTUS currently sitting at 7 points, but has a lot of ground potentially to make up in terms of points. They have more games remaining, and that may help them make the climb into playoffs. We're going to see how that goes. We're jumping right into the draft game one. Just quickly reminding you that this first map will be Dragonshire, as selected by ReGen Phoenix. Map bans are Alterac and Towers by HOTUS, and Infernal Shrines and Tomb by ReGen. Jumping into the draft now, or at least we will when it loads. Hey, all right. Um, but yeah, so as we were talking about, so ReGen Phoenix right now, my simulations put them actually as a fairly safe playoff team, around 75-ish%. HOTUS is currently down in the 30s, so HOTUS really needs this map to stay playoff eligible. That said, a big part of ReGen Phoenix's playoff odds are that they are favored in this match, and so a loss here could put ReGen Phoenix in deep trouble for making top 8 in AEast, which has just been an incredibly competitive division. There's 10 active teams right now, and all 10 of those teams have a reasonable chance to make playoffs. HOTUS, I think, is the lowest at around a 33%, according to my simulations. But right out of the gate, we see the Garrosh ban. Great for picks. On this map, there's a lot of rotation, a lot of 3v3 fighting, and Garrosh can really excel in that and setting up kind of blow-up combos, so good denial. On the other hand, you get the Yrel ban. Now, typically when you think Dragonshire, you think the top tier solo laner is going to be something like Rexxar, but the Yrel does provide a lot of zone control, a lot of space control, and Yrel just frankly doesn't die a lot. And there you can see the Rexxar ban. So two top solo laners, pardon me, two top solo laners already banned out here. Taking a look at the last ban, we haven't seen any healer bans yet. Rhaegar has been popular with the Bloodlust. I would say that Deckard has really become strong now that teams have gotten more used to using that Ruby talent. So we may see something head in that direction. What is going to be the ban, though? Is it going to be another tank? No, it's going to be Orphea. Now, Orphea has been surprising. She hasn't been seen a lot yet in NGS in a lot of the matches I've casted. But she is, if not the highest win rate hero in the game right now, she is certainly in the top 3. And I think last I checked she was the highest. So that's a deny, presumably, onto something you would see. Zydron going to grab Tassadar, who has been absolutely gangbusters since his rework. Tassadar really been just a top mage hero in the game. Taking a quick look at those stats as we load them up. Provided by Falendrith with Soothsayer. Hopefully they will load soon. But there's the Deckard we talked about in Cassia. Cassia, very popular right now. And there you see Tassadar sitting at 55% win rate. Very high given his high participation rate. Cassia, since the rework, went from the lowest win rate hero in the game to, if not the highest, certainly top 3 again. So another popular pick, and I know Darabo has played that hero a lot in the past. Then you get Area jumping on the Deckard, who, frankly, I think with Ruby being how it is, especially playing with a Cassia who wants to dive, I think that's going to be a very powerful pick. ETC, arguably the top tank. Joanna and ETC, you can make an argument on a map-to-map basis, which is better. And on this map, it could really go either way. ETC has potential global, whereas Joanna has better wave clear, and this is a wave clear intensive map. Blaze jumping onto the Rhaegar, though, so could suggest the Bloodlust, which does pair well with the Tassadar, because Tassadar can rotate into Archon, and we call that combo the Blarkon. And, of course, Raynor banned out to deny that Bloodlust synergy. As well as also having the Cassia. I think that's a good tool. The Deckard and Cassia already both are decent at disengaging Bloodlust. Cassia, because she has her blind, albeit not a long duration, but Deckard has arguably one of the best tools to shut down Bloodlust, which is Sleepy Time. Stay a while and listen. Arthas going to get banned out. which I've been seeing a bit. Certainly when we played Uncomfortably Numb, we saw that, and it can be powerful, especially with the Deckard. It's just very hard to get the kind of engage you want, especially with that Bloodlust. Does leave up something like Artanis, which could be a strong solo laner, which could neuter the Bloodlust with the blind. And there we go, like clockwork. And then grabbing the Greymane, who's arguably the best Bloodlust hero left in the game. So I'm really liking ReGen Phoenix's draft here. They get their 2 power picks they want early, the Deckard and the Cassia, and then they flex into 2 picks that can synergize well, also can be dive buddies for Cassia, get a lot of value off rubies, but also counter out clearly what HOTUS is wanting to show. So I'm liking this draft so far, really from both teams, but especially on the side of ReGen Phoenix. HOTUS going to grab Faustad and Thrall. So tank left to pick up here by Arrow, and Joanna's actually made it through the draft. Could be an option. Joanna, not really a great dive initiator, though. Could see arguably something like Diablo here, maybe, to try to initiate dive. No, they're going to go Joanna. So maybe a conviction just to help some with the engage could be on the menu. So I like this draft from both teams. I will say that the Thrall solo laner can work against the Artanis. And then you have the potential Faustad ganks. Mighty Gus can always be very valuable on this map as well. You can tend to see a bit more overextension on this map, and Gus tends to do a pretty good job of punishing that. But we are getting set to head into this game. Again, very important playoff match. 2 bubble teams here. One relatively safe in terms of ReGen Phoenix. One relatively unsafe in terms of HOTUS. But that said, an upset here really could add just a very thick coating of uncertainty to the end of the game here. But we will go ahead and get set up as we get set to introduce the 2 teams. On the left side, it will be HOTUS. We're going to have Zydron on Tassadar, Waterboy TKD on Thrall, Clyde, he's going to be on Faustad, Blaze on Rhaegar, and Watson on ETC. And over on the right, it is ReGen Phoenix. Up in the top, you're going to have Mudge on Artanis. Area going to be on the Deckard, Kane, Darabo on Cassia, Rabid Penguin on the Greymane, and finally Arrow on the Joanna. Taking a look at those level 1 talents. ETC power slides in, looking for Darabo. As no one really getting control of the wave yet. ETC was kind of a flanking swipe at the Joanna, and that will be enough to set up the rest of the wave clear. So, slight wave clear edge favoring HOTUS at the moment. ReGen Phoenix going to need to play a little bit of catch-up, but ETC, looking at Darabo, didn't really have the follow-up, kind of a glancing power slide that didn't really connect, and now Clyde not able to join, having to back up because of the pressure from Greymane. Arrow, though, going to start soaking up this lane. Looks like ReGen Phoenix is going to go ahead and get 2 soaks in this bot lane and just leave Greymane to passive soak mid. I like the slight freeze of the lane just to deny a couple XP globes from Rabid Penguin. And Rhaegar already moving right into that siege camp. As looks like Rabid Penguin going to do the same. Sorry for my cat meowing in the background if you can hear it. That is Colby Bear, and he is a silly, silly boy. So both siege camps currently underway. We're trying to kind of keep an eye on both while keeping an eye on this lane. Looks like they're going to be simul-capped, and there you see the power of Greymane, just the early camp clear. Very strong. Joanna and Faustad kind of poking against each other here. Joanna does get the wave, now starts to rotate down. Darabo trying to look for Waterboy TKD on that Rhaegar, but he does manage to slip away. Darabo a little bit low, going to need some time to collect a couple Deckard potions to get back into this one. But Faustad's still in the mid soaking, so now it looks like Darabo going to have to rotate up. That will be 2 XP globes denied. So slight edges. Ooh, but Thrall gets killed up in the top. Titor's in chat. That is a big loss for HOTUS. Losing your solo laner this early on this map is devastating. Not even as much for the objective as it is just for the soak. Well, Cassia's going for the DK. Joe steps onto the point, and actually, I take that back. Normally, I'd say it's not likely to turn into a DK. This time it did, as you saw Arrow with the very heads-up play, recognizing Cassia was channeling. And even though only a little bit of health was enough to buy time for that DK, DK gonna take it mid for the time being. This is a 2-minute Dragonite, so it's not going to be powerful at all, to say the least. Already down to 50% health, but did get the front wall mid, and that will help in terms of pressuring up this mid fort and maybe opening up an unconventional mid lane win condition on this map later for ReGen Phoenix. And they're actually going to take this top rather than the usual focus on the bot lane, trying to punish this Thrall, which is currently struggling against Artanis, having already lost a situation. See, 4-man rotation top to kill this DK. Meanwhile, though, ReGen Phoenix getting soak in every lane. Joe trying to put some pressure onto Tassadar. Tassadar did go with the stacking Q quest, so we'll keep an eye on those stacks as we go throughout the game. Level 7's here. We do, of course, see the Deckard Ruby, as well as the stacking armor debuff. Does that indicate the CDR at 7? We'll see here in a second if Area chooses to take that talent. Or maybe go with something like Kanai's Cube to try to disarm, say, a Bloodlust with some damage reduction. Both options very viable. Both teams really on the same page in terms of their camp timings, but just with that Greymane a little bit faster on ReGen Phoenix. And now Blaze, once again in trouble, needs to be careful. Barely gets out of there with 150. Has a tap, but going to have to play quite a bit safer. Meanwhile, big 4-man push here. HOTUS trying to make something happen mid, but they just fail to get that kill onto Cassia. And that time is going to allow the Greymane and the Joanna and Deckard to cap that bottom bruiser and force a rotation to defend this bot, as well as get quite a bit of chunk damage onto this bottom tower. And Falstad has gone down, as has Artanis. Not sure if those were in the top lane, but a 1-for-1 trade there. Now we have Cassia against Thrall, and I gotta be honest, I don't remember enough about unconventional solo lane maps to remember who wins this, but it looks like Darabo doing a very good job holding his own at the moment. From there, Siege Camp going to be picked up, going to push the bottom lane. As the Siege Giants are going to meet here. Gonna get a little bit of damage from these minions onto the Siege Giants, but actually, for now, not doing too much. Ari actually baiting some auto attacks from them, which is good because they're not getting onto ReGen's Siege Giants. Now they're lobbing Siege back and forth. Tass trying to shield out Joanna. ETC with a little bit of an awkward power slide there to try to get onto the point. It does do so, as Artanis currently capping top, but Falstad has flown top as well. But Thrall is going to go down. Who's going to win this 1v1? You think Artanis always has the advantage. Meanwhile, Rhaegar has gone down here in the bottom. And that is 2 kills, and ReGen Phoenix now with a chance to really open this game up. Falstad going down as well. Artanis going 2-for-1, and now making the play for the Dragon Knight. Cassia coming in as well. ETC trying to make something happen here, but that is 3 kills to nothing, and has to stage dive to safety. HOTUS just starting to fall behind in this game, having a hard time keeping any kind of momentum going, is now down 5-1 kills. Their 1 kill coming in trade for effectively 2 in that top lane. And now Cassia once again in the DK. This is a 6-minute DK. It's based on what the minute it spawns in. So still fairly weak. This is often as strong as you'd see a typical Dragonite. It does get buff each nth Dragonite, so the second is going to have buffs over the first, the third is going to have buffs over the second, etc. So that helps it a little bit, but it's mostly based on time. So once again goes down quick, but they do secure a fort with it. The Root actually preventing the engage on the Darabo, who is now able to get away, kind of using Tassidar's Black Hole almost as a movement speed buff. Pretty nifty little move there by Darabo, and now that's level 13, so full level lead has evolved on the side of ReGen Phoenix, and now Artanis starting to get pressure onto this top tower as the front walls are gone in mid, the fort's gone in bottom, and top wall now taking a lot of damage on the side of Hodis. They need to find something to turn this game around. But the first step really is going to be getting level 13. I should note, we saw Ancestral out of Rhaegar, and I think that makes a lot of sense, actually. I still think a good Ancestral can win a team fight. And the reality is, with the Bless Shield, with the Stay a While and Listen, and with the Suppression Pulse, you probably weren't going to get a good Bloodlust off regardless. Since you don't need to hold the enemy team in place, I like the option of the Sunder to try to set up something for ETC to power slide onto. You have the Mighty Gust as well, which I think goes without being said. And then the Black Hole provides kind of that CC that you lose by not going Mosh. So all, I think, good choices. On the other side, should be noted, we see the Valkyrie rather than sometimes more popular Lightning Ball. So maybe you're going to be looking to isolate off a Bless Shield with that ability. Siege Camp now being picked up here for the bottom lane on the side of ReGen Phoenix. They're going to get that into lane and start to look for opportunities. Looks like a 3v3 here in the bottom again. Equal talent here, but still that 4% scaling bonus over to the side of ReGen Phoenix. There's the Bless Shield. They're looking for the engage. Root will land on the ETC. Gets the cleanse from the Rhaegar. Now, keep in mind, Deckard has those super potions now. And those super potions provide absolutely insane sustained healing, especially if you can get them down. But here comes a big flank, the Gust. They're trying to look for the Cassia, who is isolated. Sunder going to knock her right back in. Cassia looks like she's going to go down. Does. Big Root hits. Arrow, though, now might be in trouble. The rubies are out, but just Cassia with just too much honor at that point. All 5 members of Hodis selling out for that kill. You gotta wonder, though, at what XP cost. Right now, Artanis just free pushing the top lane. Falstad, though, going to be able to fly up. Did have fly available, so that's going to help. The top has not been capped yet by either player, and with Thrall rotating up, it looks like Hodis wants this, but they are going to give up the bottom lane. Or are they? Now, Deckard does have a couple super potions on the ground that will help Rabid Penguin get out, and you can see, I mean, super potions value can just be disgusting on a map that's about point control, and Dragonshire meets that bill. That said, right now, Sun and Moon both belong to blue team. Are they going to get the channel? We're going to see. It looks like they're not. Artanis is going to come top, and certainly the Joe and the Cassia. Ooh, nice little Valkyrie there onto Thrall. Forces out a Mighty Gust there. Level 16 advantage now in the pocket of ReGen Phoenix. Let's see what they can do with this. Currently 2 to 5 kills. Last kill, though, going over to Hodis. Huge commitment to get the Cassia, but they do. And now, in addition to capping the bottom objective, they're also going to go ahead and cap the Bruiser camp. Sun and Moon both red, forcing kind of ETC, Tass, Rhaegar to all just sit mid and wait for a rotation that they don't realize is not coming because the camp is being picked up. But there we go. Top has been taken back. Sun now in the hands of the blue team. But we do have a Bruiser camp pushing in this bot lane, and that's going to draw some attention. That may free up something like a Rhaegar to rotate top, or it looks like they might be playing for a gank onto the Siege camp. No, they're going to call it off. They're instead going to try to make sure they cap this top point, as ETC is currently capping the bottom. Or the Thrall is now left out, and it's kind of a reverse. Oh, but the Sunder might get him out. No, the tippy tip of the triangle catches Thrall, locking him down and enabling the kill. And that's the 6th kill of the match for ReGen Phoenix there on the Thrall. And might be looking for another engage here. Blessed Shield is available. Not pulling the trigger on it wisely so. Didn't really have an angle to do anything with that even if it landed. Mighty Gust, of course, also available for Falstad at the moment. So you want to make sure that any engage you take that you're going to get a kill before Falstad can react or before an Ancestral can land. And that's going to be tough to do. Going to need to play this a lot more patient, try to bait out the ults one at a time to set up an advantageous position, as there's just so much to disengage on the side of HOTUS. But ReGen Phoenix has done well with it so far. Falstad flying bottom to get the clear, needing to clear up the Catapult and the Siege Giant. Not yet making a play for the Moon Shrine. Artanis is about to make a play for Sun, so that will potentially set up a cap available for the side of ReGen Phoenix. HOTUS does put a Bruiser camp in the lane. And now they are here to defend. 4 defending against 3 at the moment. Artanis alone top. Now starting to make the rotation down. There's the sleep from Deckard. Might secure Darabo getting out of there. It does. Meanwhile, Falstad has been killed in the 1v1 with Joanna in the bot lane. There's a big Sunder. Cassia's low. Cassia goes down. Joanna going to rotate into this. Stage dive. Swing and a miss there. A good dodge by the member of ReGen Phoenix. Now goes in for Tassadar. They find him. And it's the 4v3 in favor of ReGen Phoenix at the moment. And the sustained healing of Deckard is just winning them these long fights. Even though we did see a death there from ReGen Phoenix, they ultimately win the battle and the war. And this is now, even though it's 14 minutes now, that is a 13-minute dragon. It was capped right before the tick. Still much stronger now. We're talking about dragons that easily take forts and can often, it will always take a keep wall, you would imagine. Can probably take a keep. Especially with Tassadar down, they might have that opportunity. They are going to focus this bot, as is common on this map. And it looks like HOTUS not fully committing to this defense, sending Falstad top to try to save that top fort. Recognizing level 20 on the horizon for the members of ReGen Phoenix, they need to find a way to make up some of this soak differential. But the front wall is now down. The dragon, though, taking a lot of damage, down to about half health, has not really started targeting this keep yet. Keep in mind, it is Greymane in the dragon, so they actually do lose some siege damage that they could have potentially had, but Cassie, of course, was down, and the dragon finally gets whittled down. This keep's still rather healthy, about 75% health, and here comes the flank gust, setting up some kind of offense. Oh, a little bit of a miscommunication on the ults. The ETC stage dive not quite landing off that Thrall Sunder, but they still managed to kill both the damage, but the turnaround route and the sustained healing from the Deckard is keeping ReGen Phoenix alive for the time being. Area does have a super potion on the ground, actually 2 and some rubies, but that is going to be a disengage. The question is, how hard does HOTUS chase this? Do they just break off, grab their camps, and look for 20? Looks like they do. So not really getting a lot done with that dragon there from the defense, and then the great Falstad flank gust could have set up a Sunder stage dive and maybe actually gotten another kill there, maybe gotten 3 kills. But just a little bit off on their communication about ults there. I think ETC was anticipating where he thought the members of ReGen Phoenix were going to go, and Thrall was just trying to keep them in the same place. Ooh, there is a big Scroll of the Stone Curse doing a ton of damage. And with the Blessed Shield and the Scroll of the Stone Curse and the Sleep, they almost get a kill. It does force out a Mighty Gust, though. But honestly, you trade the Mighty Gust there for effectively 3 ults. Blessed Shield, Sleepy Time, and Suppression Pulse. You're kind of okay with that. That's kind of the point of Mighty Gust. Here comes ETC, sliding in. There's the engage. Ooh, Blaze gets caught out by the Valkyrie. Here comes the crowd pleaser from ETC. Got just about everyone on the red team, but still was not able to save Thrall or Falstad there. And now it is a long retreat. Got a lot of CDR there. Still going to need 20 seconds, and I don't think ETC's getting out of this one. Looks like he's turning around just to buy his team time to escape. But that may result in a curse headed over to the side or excuse me, not curse, a dragon to the side of ReGen Phoenix. Looks like Joe's starting to make the long walk top. Nobody has back-channeled bottom yet, so it looks like maybe they just want to try to grab this keep first. With the Artanis and Greymane, a lot of siege damage, of course. And my assumption is that Deckard's going to go cap bottom, the rest of the team's going to run mid, and that is indeed the case. And so with that, Mudge going to channel this, and this is potentially a game-ending dragon. 17-minute dragon coming down the lane. Level 20s here. Valkyrie used, but weird interaction with the gate. I didn't know that was the interaction with the gate. I assumed it would pull Tassar the whole way, and it didn't. Thought Tass was good at dead there, but he survives. There's the Blessed Shield looking for the engage. Didn't really line up with the ceiling scroll. Scroll of ceiling, excuse me. Ooh, Rabid Penguin very low. Stage dive might clean him up. Oh, gets the heal at just the right time. And now Watson trying to dive on the Rabid Penguin. There's the Falstad Gus with the repeating Gus, followed by the Sunder. Deckard's in a lot of trouble. Deckard does go down, but so does Falstad. Rabid Penguin still trying now to trade into ETC. Is completely isolated from the team. Needs to walk away, but they have bought themselves some precious time on the side of HOTUS. The question is, will it be enough? Blaze now low, and that is Blaze going down. They actually did switch up. I had Rhaegar played by Blaze and Thrall by Water for TKD, and I didn't notice they switched in the draft. Ooh, there's a swap onto Zydrin. Down he goes, and that will be the game. Game 1, heading over to the side of ReGen Phoenix. Barring the biggest caster curse ever. There we go. And there we go. So ReGen Phoenix chooses Dragonshire and plays the map very well. Plays the macro of the map very well. Wins the solo lane fairly hard. Mudge doing a good job against Blaze in that lane. And ultimately that led to enough opportunities for them to win the game, in a game that never really looked close. HOTUS maybe had some opportunities, but just didn't quite have the synergy that we typically saw at a ReGen Phoenix with their ults. There was some good ult usages, some very good Mighty Gus, etc., but just unable to really find kills. Only 6 kills in this game against 15 in a pretty long game. But we're going to get set up for map number 2 here. We're going to see where these teams take us, what HOTUS is going to do. HOTUS kind of on the ropes here. They really can't afford to get out of this match with 0 points. If anything, they really needed a domination to have strong playoff hopes coming out of this. But to keep their playoff hopes alive, I think they need to at least get a point here. It's not required, but their window gets much narrower without that. So we'll see if they can at least grab a point here on map 2, and then maybe give themselves a chance to win the series map 3. With that, we'll be right back. Stay tuned, and thank you all for watching. Thank you all for pointing that out. Yeah, sorry, I was muted, but then I intentionally stayed muted because we weren't yet set into the game. But hopefully we should get started soon. Um, thought we were actually about to jump in, but looks like ReGen Phoenix just wants another second to kind of prep themselves for this map. But we are waiting to get into this. HOTUS choosing map pick, which is a bit unconventional, I would say. You don't tend to see it a lot. Going with Battlefield of Eternity, which is a much more brawly map than Dragonshire is. You'll see a lot more 5v5 team fighting. And maybe they hope that they can synergize their ults and find themselves a win here as we move into the draft. I will say that it was a bit surprising to see both teams pick map when given the choice so far. ReGen Phoenix won toss and chose map. HOTUS choosing map coming off game one. Certainly at the beginning of the season, that was rather rare, as once again we see the Urel going to stay banned out here. It was a bit unusual early in the season to see first pick, because it typically fell to the team that picked second to ban Zul, given its power level. As I apologize, I was getting messages there that I needed to respond to. Now Zul has fallen off considerably. I have not seen it picked in the last week nearly at the same level as it used to be. Not to say it isn't strong, but just on some maps, it really isn't a factor anymore. I would actually say, surprisingly, Volskaya seems to be one Zul struggles on. Based on the last 3 or 4 games I've seen on Volskaya with a Zul, the team with the Zul has lost. And it could be just a level of play factor, but I think teams have gotten a lot better at responding to it. From there, we are taking a look at same bands, except actually no, I take that back. Not at all same bands from HOTUS. Map 1, HOTUS banned out Garrosh and Rexar, both of which make more sense onto the map. Now denying the Joanna, which was picked up late by Arrow, last pick, and then Artanis, which was played by Mudge last game. We have Ari jumping in onto the Rhaegar this time. Because this is a more brawly map, I actually do like this choice. I like the choice of getting the Rhaegar over the Deckard, who tends to want to play on more space-controlling maps. Now, this map can be a lot about controlling space, but the Rhaegar is arguably the best healer at burning the objective. I mean, certainly you look at Tyrande helps, Monk has good burn if you go into Iron Fist, but typically you'd see Rhaegar as a high priority here. On the other side, we have the Ana, which I think is actually a good Bloodlust counter tool, as you have the Sleep Dart available to take potentially someone out of the fight. And then there's Raynor, arguably the best immortal burner in the game right now, although his completely busted level 1 talent has been muted back to the levels of a mere mortal. Arrow going to be playing Muradin. Now, Muradin does actually bring potentially some really good objective burn here, and actually synergizes well with the Bloodlust. As well, you have Darabo jumping onto the Tassadar. We talked earlier about the Blarcon, the Bloodlust Archon, being a good strategy. Now, they need to try to remove, I think, a tool that could be used to counter-engage them. With Artanis no longer available and Joanna, you think... I was about to say, I would think they maybe want to ban the Falstad here. Because of Mighty Gust. But that said, tight corridors, Mighty Gust maybe doesn't get as much value, and they're much more worried about the lead main, especially since this map doesn't tend to get to level 20, so you don't have to worry about the repeating Gust, which I'm frankly just bumfuck forgetting the name on, so apologies there. Li Ming, though, going to be banned for that poke damage as well as the burn she brings. Malthael gonna get grabbed. Malthael and Sylvanas. So 2 good heroes at burning, 2 good heroes at team fighting. But kind of a squishy team so far. And into that potential bloodlust, I kind of worry a bit how Hodis is going to deal with it without something like a Falstad to disengage it. I mean, yes, they have Wailing Arrow to deny spells, but Wailing Arrow it really doesn't do anything to upset auto attack damage. Imperious Jaina, a lot of blow up now here. And it's Uther tank. Okay, so the Uther certainly does bring some extra healing to help out Anna. Anna more a sustained healer. You have that burst heal. I guess you have Divine Shield potentially for Mouth just to be able to go hog wild for a bit. But they're going into that Imperious, and that Imperious, if played well, could be very deadly. You look at this and you think maybe Uther is a good blow-up target, even though he heals as a ghost for a bit, just because they're going to be relying, at least until 13, on Uther for burst healing and cleanse. Now, 13, of course, Anna can take Smelling Salts, which gives armor to the stun target, and would be a great way to counter out Imperious combos, so we'll see if that's the direction they head in. We are going to go ahead, get set, jump into this match. It's going to be map number 2 in this very critical series to help determine which of these teams ultimately is going to make the trip to the playoffs. Both of them could go. Both of them absolutely could go, but certainly ReGen Phoenix giving themselves a lot more leeway if they get a domination victory here. So we'll see if that's what happens. Introducing the teams. On the left, Zydron once again on that Tassadar. Waterboy, not on Tassadar, on Anna. Waterboy TKD on Malthael. Clyde is going to be on Raynor. Blaze on Sylvanas. And Watson is going to be on Uther. Forgive the graphic overlay there. Area going to be on the Rhaegar. Mudge on the Imperious. You got Arrow on Muradin. Rabid Penguin and Jaina. And it is Darabo on the Tassadar. Forgive me for that. So here we go, level 1 talents. Let's take a look. Let's see what kind of builds. Sylv definitely telegraphs her build quite a bit with the level 1. And Jaina taking a lot of damage there, but so did Sylvanas. Not going with the stacking talent, instead going with the overwhelming affliction. Getting some more percent damage, which makes sense in this double warrior frontline. Arrow going to take some damage here from Uther. Uther going with the Lightbringer quest, so going to need to get some auto attacks off. Won't be hard to do on this map with so much of the time spent burning the objective. And once he does, he will be able to get a pretty low cooldown on that E, presuming he can stay up on the enemy targets and continue to auto-attack them. There's the focus onto Tass. Sleep Dart follow-up, and there's the Anna grenade, denying the heal from Rhaegar. Great grenade follow, and the poison damage from Sylvanas finally secures that kill. And Hodis starting this game off much better. Ooh, there's a Sleep Dart onto Arrow, both Arrow and Area. Very low. Looks like Rhaegar just going to have to full Hearth. Should be noting that Muradin went into stacking Q. Could see a Sledgehammer at 4. That is an option. Bruiser Camp now being grabbed by the side of Hodis. Rhaegar currently rotating in mid, maybe thinking of coming top to help out. Onto Waterboy TKD. Tassadar actually now coming up too. Looks like they're just making a long play for their own Bruiser Camp. Arrow and Rabid Penguin could stay in the bot to clear this. Neither of them super critical for the burn, although Muradin did go into Sledgehammer. Going to be pretty important for Muradin to stack his Q quickly. Oh, but he gets absolutely blown up there. And it's not often you see a Muradin die that fast up here this early in the game. But Sylvanas and Raynor just absolutely working it down so fast. Off that Uther stun, off the sleep. And ReGen Phoenix right now kind of reeling a bit. Down about a third of a level. And haven't really gotten any burn progress yet. And so this is an opportunity now for HOTUS to start to get control of this game. Now, it looks like ReGen Phoenix wants to play defense here and look for a fight. It is a 4v4 up in the top right now. Malthael's still clearing up the Bruiser camp. Bruiser camp has been cleared bot by ReGen Phoenix. And so they give up about 40% of the channel, but halftime has not yet been kicked. There's the stun once again onto Muradin. Big two-man spear there. Watson is now low, trying to get out. Anna throwing out what heal she can. Good sleep dart there onto Arrow. Waterboy TKD really wants that finish. Has the poison damage. Will Arrow's self-healing kick it in time? No, it doesn't. And Muradin has gone down. The second wind not kicking in time, and that is 50-0 in favor of HOTUS for this starting phase, and it looks like ReGen Phoenix now just resigned to burn what they can to limit the damage of this Immortal they're about to face. But with the sizable burn on the other side, this is still a very heavily shielded Immortal. 11.6k on the shields. That is very, very substantial. And this is going to be one extraordinarily healthy Immortal. It's going to be Mouth and Imperius in the bot lane, not seeing the strategy of pushing away from the Immortal. And once again, Muradin he steps up and the stuns come in and he just gets lit up. And Rhaegar just not having the healing this early in the game to deal with it. Rhaegar very reliant on getting 13 for his throughput healing. And ultimately very reliant on his level 10 ability. But now the turnaround looking for Clyde. But now Rhaegar, who stepped up trying to get the finish, gets slept. Now having to run out of that. Arrow jumping away as well. And this fort has fallen. They do get a turnaround kill onto Sylvanas. But they have lost that fort. Now down about 3/4 of a level. And they are going to be losing out on that passive XP. Seeing a rotation here from ReGen Phoenix heading towards bottom. Wanting to potentially pressure up this bottom fort, get some damage onto it. Imperius is here to defend. There's a sleep dart. Malthael in the middle dodges the stun from Muradin. Rhaegar throwing out the slow totem. Waterboy may go down here. I know Mouth tends to want to... Oh, the big sleep dart from Anna! The heals come in, and Malthael's able to do enough to get a trade onto Tassadar. So what should have been a quick pickoff with some nifty movement, a great grenade, and an amazing sleep dart turns into a 1-for-1 trade, and it's actually going to push ReGen Phoenix off the map. They need to get healthy, and that may enable them to grab this bottom siege and start to pressure up this bottom fort, which is already exposed, no wall down, even more. HOTUS looking very strong in this game early. ReGen Phoenix going to need to kind of find their center here, get back in control. Having Avatar, I think, will help significantly. Does Anna Healing Grenade block Avatar? I believe it does. I mean, your max health goes up, but I don't think you actually see your HP increase. So stun there onto Uther just to walk away. Both teams rotating now into their Bruiser. You got a little bit of a head start on the side of HOTUS. Level 10 here for them. You have the Divine Shield. It is Tormented Souls from Malthael, so I expect a Divine Souls combo. Possibly with a Nano Boost as well from the Anna, with a Wailing Arrow and a Hyperion. This is a very hyper carry focused Malthael, potentially. On the other side, you have Avatar, Archon, Welly, Angelic Armaments, and Bloodlust. So despite the blow-ups early, because of that Anna Grenade, it really makes you think, is it worth going into Ancestral at all? Plus, with the power of Bloodlust, They're going to hopefully get a lot of value off it. There is the Nano Boost Divine Shield, and Tormented Souls just destroys Muradin there, but the turnaround with the Spear secures 2 counter kills, make that 3 counter kills as Sylvanas goes down, and now Waterboy all by himself back here. Clyde is going to go down as well, and ReGen Phoenix may have just found the fight to turn this game around. 5 for 1. That's going to be a 5-man team wipe. They are going to lose their bottom fort here, so they need to get a lot with this next objective. They do have a Bruiser Camp helping to push top. Are they going to save the... They can't. They're not going to save... No, the Bruiser Camp's targeting minions. They actually will save this fort. Alright, well done. Well done there by Tassadar to defend that fort and keep that passive XP gap from growing. This is not a super well-shielded Immortal. It's about 50%, but still, that's good. You're looking at this point, if you're on the side of ReGen Phoenix, something like we want Keep Wall here. We want to open up a win condition. We want to open up a condition where if we get another 5-man team wipe, we can just take Keep. There's a big Storm Bolt with the Spear follow. Cleanse comes in, but not in time. Raynor goes down. Uther unable to cleanse because he too was caught in that Spear. Anna not with the level 13 talent, potentially Smelling Salts, which I have to imagine is the choice in this situation. And it looks like Raynor may have DC'd. Ooh, there is a stun. Looking for this engage. Are we going to get a pause? We are. Okay. So, quick little pause here. We'll see how long it takes us to get back into this game. But right now, I mean, Hodis really was in the driver's seat of that game. ReGen Phoenix now turning it around. And with just that one fight. But when you see a 5-man team fight like that, that alone can, or 5-man team wipe, that can and typically does turn a game around. Now ReGen Phoenix actually leading in kills in this game. And we haven't seen those blow-ups succeed really since Cleanse has come online. Then again, we haven't seen as much an opportunity because it seems like the members of ReGen Phoenix getting much better at group engaging. As yet, I'm not seeing anything as to the nature of the pause. So I'm just waiting to get the go-ahead from the teams to let us know that we'll be restarting soon. But certainly potential to get Keep Wall here. The Immortal, not super healthy, so I don't think we'll see a Keep go down. But at the moment, I'm just going to go ahead and assume this will be a longer pause, given I haven't heard anything yet. And we'll be right back. Stay tuned, everyone. Thank you for watching. Alright, welcome back everyone. Hopping into this game once again. And, actually not able to get the wall. It looked like we saw the members of, ReGen Phoenix decide not to pressure their luck. They did get punished a little bit in the last game by staying too long. Looks like they were maybe looking for a gank onto the siege camp, but HOTUS actually was going for this top camp to try to push in the lane where they have an advantage. They do have a catapult lined up and coming in with this, but on the other side, you're seeing exactly the same situation on the bottom. Potentially a wave stack paired with a catapult. Sylvanas is defending this bot. Does ReGen Phoenix want to look to be aggressive here? Raynor going to give vision there. And good disengage. Ooh, but Malthael may be caught out here. There's the stun. Welly comes out. Self-unstoppable used. And that actually does bait out the water elemental. So not too bad an escape there at all. ReGen Phoenix just going to come back, clean up their structure. I apologize for the cursor guide on the screen. Oh, sorry. Oops. Seem to be having some mouse issues, and I do apologize for that. Thank you all for bearing with me. But with that, we're heading into the Immortal phase. Equal talent here, 4% scaling bonus in favor of ReGen Phoenix. Bruiser Camp about to be capped. And the Bloodlust used to engage this. Sleep comes out. There's a big wailing arrow. Turnaround damage. Arrow doesn't have any healing available. Arrow going to be the first death. Rhaegar going to be the next. So despite kind of a surprise engage and the Bloodlust, great reaction with that wailing arrow from Sylv. Turns it into a 3 for nothing. And that could very well be a 100-0 Immortal. Maybe another death here if Jaina can get dismounted. Clyde looking for the movement speed, just not quite able to dismount Jaina. Meanwhile, that bottom fort has gone down finally for ReGen Phoenix. So now, once again, passive XP favoring the members of HOTUS once again. HOTUS now with control of this objective and a slight XP lead. And they get to work burning. Looks like we're going to see ReGen Phoenix just try to tag this Bruiser Camp and get some kind of counter push. The Immortal will go bottom because there's some damage on this top. And so they are getting some extra pressure into this top lane while they go to defend bottom. But that said, this is a full 100% shield Immortal. And that does not bode well for the members of ReGen Phoenix this late into the game. This very well could be a core push. The fort, or the keep wall, still very healthy. No damage onto it whatsoever. It's a 5-man defense. Malthael actually in the top. Surprised we're not seeing a bigger commitment here. Instead playing the soak game, and that may cost them. Big 3-man spear off the side flank with the Bloodlust. Actually fairly well disengaged, but Watson will go down here. Malthael now rotating into this fight, but it once again is a 4v5, but Mudge is actually going to go down, and now Jaina's in definitely an awkward position. Are they going to go for this finish? Rabid Penguin, Ice Block comes out. There's the Tormented Souls. That's going to secure that kill. Arrow might go down as well. The Immortal Shields have fallen, but now so have 3 members of ReGen Phoenix, and HOTUS might be looking to take us to a game 3 potentially. They have Raynor up. They have Sylvanas up. That's enough damage, I think, to get the core. The only one they're missing is Uther. Are they going to go for this? They're a little bit hesitant, but they start to work in. Hyperion comes out. Shields are down. Keep in mind, Malthael really does not bring much to the table at all in terms of siege damage. 42%, and now they're going to have to back up. 24%, I think they could have finished. It's tough. Raynor started to get low. It's a tough call. They are going to back up. Let's hope that doesn't bite them and they don't wonder what could have been. They're going to go ahead and grab bot siege. You're going to see some backs here for mana. Meanwhile, ReGen Phoenix just assessing the damage, trying to get the lanes pushed back out. Now having to deal with that catapult pressure in the bot lane every wave. They're actually not going to clear up this siege giant yet. A bit surprised by this. I think they've decided that they have to win this game by taking fights. And so they're going to force this fight up in the top. But didn't quite get it. Instead, kind of hanging back, maybe looking for a bad rotation here. There's the stun onto Uther. We talked about that being the target. Here's the Bloodlust, but Uther self-divine shields, turnaround damage coming out. Malthael's starting to get low, has to back up, but the health bars, ooh, but a big Angelic Armaments absolutely trucks Sonya, and now Imperius with the spear. Jaina goes down on the flank to Raynor, or excuse me, not to Raynor, to, yeah, it was Raynor, excuse me. But so does Uther go down inevitably. So 2-for-1 trade in favor of ReGen Phoenix. But they are going to have to send someone to deal with this bot lane. And with the Raynor still up, that does, in my mind, still give the burn advantage strongly over to the side of Hodis. Rhaegar going with that root totem at 16. Trying to add some CC to this. You're seeing 3 defend, Muradin mounting, about to join. It's 4v3 at the moment. They're going to start to rotate up. They do have a bruiser camp in the bot that's already about to get to where their keep used to be. Ooh, Water TKD gets the cleanse. Gets himself unstoppable off and does escape. And that might be huge, as now this sets up a 4v4 here as Jaina's current... Oh, and Darabo wasn't quite able to get out. Taswall doesn't go up in time, and Water TKD now all over this backline. Does get stunned, healing, though, off the Imperius, and Imperius does finally go down to all that poison damage, and that may also secure the kill onto Muradin. It does, and now at this point you got to think they can go core. There's already 2 catapults there. The shields are back up. The shields are 50% of the core. So effectively, they have to burn 74% here. I think they can do it. An Area going to try to get whatever damage that can be gotten, but Area not going to be doing enough. That core does go down. And Hodis is going to take us to a game 3. So Hodis taking down ReGen Phoenix's core and taking map number 2. So in this series, bit of an unusual setup here. Whoever has picked the map has won the game. We don't typically see that too often. This meta seems to be favoring first pick, but not in this series. And remember, there's the global meta and then there's the series meta. And so far, what I think the series meta tells me is that when Hodis is able to brawl, when they're able to just say, like, okay, we're going to fight. All right, we're going to fight. When they can do that, it favors them. When the game comes down to kind of cerebral, rotational play, ReGen Phoenix seems to have the advantage. Given that, do you, ReGen Phoenix, start to think about what maps you could take here? Do you maybe choose to take map? Should know Alterac, Towers, Tomb, and Shrines burned. Do you maybe take us somewhere like Sky Temple, which is available? We'll see. We'll see where map 3 goes. We'll be right back, everyone. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Alright, welcome back everyone to Nexus Gaming Series. Map 3 is gonna be chosen by ReGen Phoenix as Volskaya Foundry, and, you know, I'm kind of a bit surprised by that. I thought it seemed that the macro play from ReGen Phoenix was where they had advantages. But that said, perhaps they still think they're the better team fight team. Perhaps they still think that it was maybe a draft issue in the last game, and they can make those corrections. I admittedly expected a more macro looking map. We didn't get that though. So with that, Joanna gonna get banned out once again. I don't suspect HOTUS will change up their bans too much, given what happened in the last game, denying the Joanna. Could see an Artanis ban again, although this map not a very Artanis heavy map, and BOE certainly is an Artanis heavy map. ReGen Phoenix sticking with the same ban so far, Urel. They've been banning Urel and Orphea. We'll see if that changes. On the other side, HOTUS coming in with their second ban. Do they stick with that Artanis ban? Do they maybe go back to something like the Garrosh that we saw banned out in Game 1? Or do they go with something unique? Rhaegar does have a 0% win rate. Also, the H comes after the E. I don't know why I'm being nitpicking. Gonna deny the Cassia. This Darabo does play a strong Cassia, taking it off the map for this game. Orphea gets banned out, so ReGen Phoenix still happy with their bans, not second guessing after that loss. Mephisto gonna get broken out. Can be strong on the map, very strong team fight hero. And doesn't actually have to pick wave clear talents on this map, because wave clear doesn't matter a ton on this map. I mean, wave clear always matters to an extent, certainly, but it's not a deal breaker on this map if you're a little bit behind in wave clear. And there's Garrosh Deckard, a good combo. You have Deckard, could go into Sapphire here. I mean, there's an opportunity cost between Sapphire and Ruby potentially. If you do that. But Sapphire sets up Garrosh flips incredibly nicely. You can throw the Sapphire on the enemy, throw the root close to your Garrosh. Garrosh runs up, throws the enemy into the root. Sticking with that Ana. The Ana definitely, I thought, got a ton of value in the last game, so I don't see a reason to change it. It could be that they just think the Orphea is incredibly strong right now. Could be a scouted ban. I think either is possible. I don't know which it is. The Orphea, that is. But there's been a lot of priority on getting Zydran onto heroes in this series fairly early. Ana, ETC. On the other side, so Malthael has been banned. No Moss, says ReGen Phoenix. No Moss. Makes sense. The Deckard can actually struggle a bit with the Malthael. Pretty much only has sleep to deal with him. And otherwise, the AoE damage that Malthael can do really causes a lot of problems. Greymane going to get banned out, which is a pretty safe follow-up onto the Garrosh. Certainly, it's a good tool to pick into Garrosh, but my assumption is they did not expect they were going to get the Garrosh, or they were going to get the Greymane in the 4-5. They probably expect to be picked in the 3-4. Speaking of the 3-4, picks coming in now. Sylvanas, Artanis. Jumping back onto that Artanis, it was played very well in Game 1 by Mudge. The Sylvanas, I think, is a good pick. Sylvanas was played very well on the last map. Although I think that was by Zydran, so who's already on Mephisto. So the Sylvanas could just be picked because they think it's strong, and I don't deny that at all. Sylvanas still a very strong assassin. Arthas Raynor. So Arthas is kind of in an interesting spot. I've seen a few teams play Arthas as a main tank, but they are presumably grabbing him as the offlaner, and then Raynor once again for the follow-up. And then you have Chromie. This is another hero that Darabo, from memory, likes to play quite a bit. Gives a lot of zone control and a lot of that Garrosh follow-up they needed. So I really like the Chromie pickup here. The Arthas pick is interesting to me. Certainly it's going to upset the Artanis, but Arthas also struggles against the Garrosh quite a bit. Has a hard time engaging, and with the lack of mobility, if Arthas does get flipped, he could get blown up. Especially with the Wailing Arrow from Sylvanas. But we'll see how it goes. I'm interested. But either way, our series ends now. So our series is going to come to an end here. This is Game 3. The winner sets themselves up, helps their playoff chances out greatly. Both teams getting 1 point has helped. Neither team getting 3 has hurt them. But whoever gets that second point, they're that much closer to locking playoffs. So we're going to go ahead, get set up for game number 2. We're going to hop right into it, and we're going to introduce our teams on the left. It's going to be Zydron on Mephisto, Waterboy TKD, Clyde on the Raynor, Blaze on Anna, and Watson going to be on the ETC. It is Heroes of the United States, a.k.a. HOTUS. And on the right side, ReGen Phoenix. Struggled in Game 2. Let's see if they come back. Area on the Rhaegar. Mudge on Artanis. On Deckard, not on Rhaegar. I always mess one up, and I do apologize to both teams for that. Darabo going to be on Chromie. Rabid Penguin on Sylvanas. Forgive, but never forget. Hold this grudge forever. Use it. Make it a strength. Interesting. Looks like they're going to send Arthas up the top lane. Raynor currently down in the bot. Could this be that they're trying to reverse the solo lane and go mid-bot rather than top-bottom? $10 says I will throw him backwards. Yeah. I would expect that. You typically don't want to throw Arthas into your backline. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just playing with scrubs, and maybe that's why the Arthas always just dies when he gets flipped. But when he does get flipped, he very well could die. I am a Div B scrub, so it is fair that I'm not as good as you Div A mortals sitting on your high pedestals, judging us down in Div B and finding us wanting. But with that, and I'm not even saying that snarky, you guys are better than me, so I'm completely fine saying that. Right now, already, ReGen Phoenix has got to work on their turret camp. Raynor's still down here against Artanis. Needs to be a bit careful. Mephisto and ETC now working on that. Arthas kind of doing a double soak at the moment. Not the best hero at double soak. Garrosh's going to step up. And I believe, Crosby, you just lost $10. Who does Crosby owe $10 to? Is it me? Do you have to donate $10 to the stream now? Is that how that works? We'll find out. There's a power slide, looking at the Garrosh. Blows the self-unstoppable to walk away. Sleep dart onto Sylvanas. Now the healing grenade. But Rabid does get out. Chromie does clear up that mid lane in the meanwhile. Now backing to have a nice, tasty, oh so full of mana. Mana bar. The words got away from me there. She has a full of mana bar. I mean, that is accurate, but it sounds weird as fuck. Both teams grabbing their siege. Little bit of a siege lead on the side of HOTUS. So they might get the camps to neutralize a bit closer to the side of ReGen Phoenix. ReGen Phoenix, though, might be okay with that. Looks like Garrosh rotating up as well. So they are going to give up channel progress to try to get this macro advantage. Chromie just going to try to be annoying, look for poke. Now rotating up, do they maybe try to look for some kind of engage here on this rotation? They don't. They said, all right, we did what we need to do. We're close to 7. Let's step up. ETC, of course, a great counter to Garrosh. ETC gonna just back up. There's a power slide onto Garrosh, taking a lot of damage. But there you see, I mean, that 29 armor, although now got a heal, so a little bit less. We haven't actually shown talents yet, and for that, I apologize. Big power slide hits 3. No kills yet. Both teams starting to get low. Waterboy TKD going to have to get out of that route, and that will enable, for the time being, ReGen Phoenix get control of the point. And actually, Anna going with the Vampiric Healing. Vampiric Rounds, excuse me, in this game. Going to try to maybe just stack up off that Garrosh. And also could, if there's a good sleep dart onto the Chromie, with that level 4 and the level 7 at play, could really shut the Chromie down. I mean, it would be a 40% heal reduction, maybe up to 50. We'll see. Notice Crosby has left chat ever since it turns out he owes me $10. Very surprised that you're cut and running on this deal, Crosby. But not able to stay on the point, not able to keep a toe down. Overtime does not get kicked, and the Triglav Protector drops immediately. And now Artanis gets in, starts trucking out damage, does not have a gunner at the moment. Now Sylvanas jumps in as the gunner. Kind of surprised at that. I would have expected Sylvanas to stay out for trait. Ooh, this Triglav Protector is absolutely getting annihilated by Raynor. I mean, it is... Raynor and Mephisto have trucked it down. It is at 10% health. And that did not take long. And it has only got... lower synths. Only front towers in mid. Ooh, and ETC finds himself on the wrong side. Oh, and the swap back under towers. And there he goes. I think what happened there, Snag, is I think Arthas thought overtime had kicked, and at that point you can kind of dance on and off the point. But because right as the timer ended, I don't think any members on the side of HOTUS were on the point. Overtime didn't ultimately kick, and it was just because of that one split-second decision, with everyone taking that moment to kind of step off the point. So it was good zoning by the members of RGP, who now find themselves sieging up this bot wall. So they're playing much more for the late game as we see a stage dive ETC come out with the level 10. Here comes the engage. Big Warlord's challenge, and that might set up the kill onto Waterboy TKD. Waterboy does go down. Arrow using Into the Fray to try to get his teammates out of there. Chromie rewind onto the Mephisto. Good damage trucked out. It was a little bit awkward because Mephisto E'd at the same time. So he kind of got teleported to the rewind and then back to himself. Just a little bit of a world traveler there was Mephisto. And there we go. Sylvanas and Deckard going to clear up this siege camp in the top lane. Second siege camp picked up by the members of HOTUS. Now start to try to pressure up mid. They're doing well on XP despite being down so much structurally. And actually HOTUS doing a little bit of an invasion here. The turret has been grabbed, and I believe, Era, are you okay? You've been struck by a smooth criminal. Just walked in the middle of the night, stole your turret. And a good face melt actually there by Watson to disengage that. Don't know why I singled out Arrow for that. Phoenix, are you okay? Are you okay, Phoenix? It needed to be 2 syllables. That's what I know. And looking at the teammate names, Arrow is the only member of ReGen Phoenix with 2 syllables in their name, unless I'm pronouncing area wrong, which I probably am. Well, Chromie W build can be uncommon, but so can Ana trait build. So, a little bit of uncommon builds in this game. But very aggressive game here. Now a 5-man push into the top lane. Here comes the flank. Arthas has to be thrown back. But in that time, Sylvanas has gone down. But so has Mephisto gone down on the backside. But now the sleep doesn't save Garrosh. Garrosh has gone down as well. And so 2 kills to 1, favoring Hodis. Darabo extremely low. Going to need to back up. And that might enable a shrine capture on the side of Hodis. They are going to walk down and get their turret, so Arthas is going to be up here alone for the time being. Raynor showing mid, though, might encourage the members of ReGen Phoenix to try to aggressively push this Arthas off. Arthas in a good position to escape, though. Turret now picked up by the members of Hodis. Arthas now pushed off the point. Garrosh maybe looking to catch someone out here on the rotation. Does show, going for the ETC, not able to get onto anyone, so it's a good job by Hodis, recognizing that, walking away. Now the focus onto the Garrosh, has the Unstoppable, though, throws Arthas away, and that's a good disengage. And that keeps the channel progress ticking for ReGen Phoenix for the time being. Clyde taking a ton of damage from that Chromie W. ETC power slides in. Now the big Mephisto route, trucking out a lot of damage once again onto Garrosh. Has 43 armor to help, but it's not going to be enough. He goes down. Mudge in the back line trying to go for Ana, but Ana, with those Vampire Grounds, able to stay alive. But, oh, Raynor just rotates down. Not sure that was the best time for him to try to go for that. And Raynor's going to pay for it. Could have been a 2 for nothing. Turns into a 2 for 1. Will lead to some channel progress, though. These are some yakety sacks as fuck fights. The next time a team fight breaks out, Monkus, I will try to do you proud. Meanwhile, Sylvanas grabbing the camp in bottom for the members of ReGen Phoenix. 70% counting. This will almost certainly, with Sylvanas not there, be the capture in favor of Hodis. 87%, 88%. And yeah, they're not going to get onto the point. Sleep Dart certainly removes any doubt, although I think there was a lot of doubt to begin with. And we'll see what happens here. I think both these teams are actually playing quite well. Just a lot of chaos in these fights. I mean, the Chromie is going to add a lot of chaos. The Mephisto adds a fuck ton of chaos. That's just really hard to predict. And I think that's just making these fights seem a lot more hectic and haphazard than they otherwise are. But that said, if I see a team fight, I will whip out the yakety sacks for you. Triglav trying to push down this bot, gets the wall, gets the well. Still all 3 forts standing for both teams. Hodis does have the 16 advantage, could look for a fight off the Triglav. 25 seconds though, I think they want to try to get some damage. Front wall is down mid. Top wall still has 1 turret standing. I don't think that's their goal. Not sure where they're trying to take the Triglav here. Arthas and Artanis in the bot at the moment. Kind of I don't. Hodis is. I think they want to be up near the healer camp. I think that's correct. But I'm just not sure what their and then is here. Don't put Ana in the protector. Good point. Not able to get the healing out. Not able to persist the siege there. And that will be now the healer camp going over to the side of ReGen Phoenix. Hodis is going to settle for a turret. And we haven't had a team fight in a while. So my yakety sax is probably going to sound rusty when it does finally come out. But here we go. Hodis rotating down towards the bottom. Going to try to maybe pressure up bottom fort. ReGen Phoenix setting up for their turret camp. Chromie with some time traps out. But it looks like now they want to try to go for a pick. And it is ETC isolated. There's the taunt, and ETC goes down. Mephisto with the root. Not really, though, enough there to get any real damage out. And now Arthas is going to have to drop back. So that will give... Oh, almost landing that swap. That will give ReGen Phoenix control the map for a bit. Looks like they want to cash in the value of that kill. Trade it out for some damage onto this bot fort. Maybe a well as well. Poking back and forth coming. We got a 5v4, but the fort is helping defend this. Waterboy TKD does get thrown backwards, but that actually might not have been what Arrow wanted. Arrow going to go down. Now Mudge is in a lot of trouble, and Mudge is not able to get out of it as well. And it just seemed ReGen Phoenix was just a little bit too deep there, unable to disengage that fight, and then the throw onto Arthas made that disengage even more difficult. And now Sylvanas, who was going for the camp, gets spotted out and goes down, and that is the third kill coming out here. Stage dive from the newly resurrected ETC. Enabling that turret invade, and that is a turret taken and another kill in favor of HOTUS. Now it looks like they might try to pressure up this bottom keep wall with 3 members dead. Garrosh will be up in 5, so they need to be careful. They want to make sure the gate is down before Garrosh has a chance to get there. And they do get the front wall, so well played. Do they go further? Sylvanas is up in 15. They do have a Chromie to defend. Chromie, a good defender. They're going to get about a third of it and then walk away, and I think that's the play. Now, level 20 getting closer for HOTUS, so you might see ReGen Phoenix start to get a bit more aggressive here. And speaking of getting aggressive, there's the taunt onto the ETC, looking for the root. Good throw back into the root, and ETC goes down once again. Didn't have the stage dive to try to get out. There was enough CC, I don't think it would have worked regardless. And ooh, Arthas, that was a scary rotation that Arthas took. Here comes the big root. ReGen Phoenix does a good job disarming it. Sleep could enable a re-engage, but Mephisto does grab Chromie on the backline. Health bars are low on the side of ReGen Phoenix. Level 20 not quite here, but despite this, HOTUS very aggressively looking to clean up another kill. Gets the root onto Arthas, does not land the follow-up after the throw. Mephisto getting very aggressive here. That is not a ghost Mephisto. That is the real deal. And if he got swapped there, that could have been lights out. Did eat a root there, but got cleansed immediately by the Ana. Great cleanse there from Blaze off the level 13 purifying darts. Absolutely needed, or Mephisto was dead. Level 20's now here. And Ana has gone into dynamic optics. Yes. Oh, we're going to see Ana just rattling off her machine gun. She doesn't have a sniper rifle anymore. She's got an assault rifle. Lot of damage, though, taken passively onto this bottom keep by ReGen Phoenix. And they are still quite a ways away from level 20. I don't think they can survive a protector in this bot lane. They might. They're going to go for their turret. But it is 55% and counting. And right now they're working at clearing up lanes, so it looks like they're going to try to play for 20 here. Rather than try to fight. Chromie is going to recognize, oh, look, they're taking our turret. They're going for this fort, but the fort doesn't really give XP anymore. I think they may have been better served sending someone top immediately to try to get that top soak, to try to proc 20. They are going to go for the healing totem, but they have given up a Triglav protector here very quickly. They don't have 20 yet, and this keep is low. I'm very worried about what ReGen Phoenix is going to do to defend here. Level 20 has just now kicked. Bottomless Flask. Double throw from Garrosh. I don't see anything here that makes me think they're going to be able to pull this defense out of their pocket. I don't know if they're going to be able to kill this Triglav in time. Gets onto the Rainer. That would help considerably. They do kill the Rainer, but this Triglav is still working on their core, and it is down to 84 and falling fast, 50%. This Triglav has more health than the core at this point, and I think HOTUS is going to get the upset victory. They are. So ReGen Phoenix just fell just enough behind on XP. They weren't able to challenge on bottom. Choosing to try to defend once they got level 20 talents, but it was just too healthy a Triglav Protector and too weak a keep to hold it back. And so with that, HOTUS is going to win this series, breaking our streak of the team picking the map winning. And once again, I was surprised by the map pick from ReGen Phoenix. I expected them to look more at a macro style play. I thought that was where their strength was in game 1, kind of getting a lot of 1v1 advantages. They didn't really seem to get those in this map. And so with that, HOTUS is going to take the victory. We're going to see if we can do a post-game interview. So stay tuned, everyone. We'll be right back. Keep watching. All right. So with that, HOTUS takes this series 2-1. I am joined by the tank player for HOTUS, Watson. Watson, how you guys feeling after that win?
It was fun. It was a fun group of games. Got to play some main tank Uther, which is always fun.
Mhm.
Got wrecked by Sylvanas Silences repeatedly. That was also fun.
Was
But,
it? Was it? Was it?
Yeah,
Was it?
more power to them. I was surprised. I was honestly surprised at the fact that they would go all in on it, but I shouldn't have been the last one. It was kind of as soon as they started showing, I'm like, well, okay, here we go. We'll just play that
Yeah.
same routine again. And luckily, Zydron was able to carry me through and handle them 4v5 pretty well. So
Yeah. So with that, taking a look at the series, it was a reverse sweep, which means when we talk about game 1, it's, probably going to have a downer ending. You guys seem to have a lot of trouble on Dragonshire. What do you think really was kind of working against you on that map that really kept you, I think, so far behind?
I think just compositionally, they outdrafted us. I just think we didn't have we weren't able to rotate with the false stat as well as we needed to, and we weren't able to secure kills in the early game. So we couldn't really. I mean, there were a lot of opportunities where I was missing power slides on like Cassia, and so it just created a lot of problems where, missing a skill shot here or there could have changed or turned the tide, and they just played. They played well. So
They did. Game 1, there were a couple of those moments that I kind of caught when we were playing, but I mean, you guys managed to put up a good fight. You got some kills on bottom, and I thought maybe you're going to pull the series back, but ultimately just a really good finish by RGP. And so in game 2, it seemed like you guys just decided to pull out something a bit more unconventional. Not unheard of, but unconventional with a pretty squishy lineup with the Uther main tank. What was the motive behind that draft on on BOE map 2?
We wanted to win a game.
And if you draft those 5 heroes, you always win. I'm just I guess against RGP. Was there something in game 1 that made you think go that way? Was it just on the map or something you practice? I'm just curious.
It is a composition that we have a lot of confidence with
Okay.
and have had a lot of success with. And there was a time and place when Uther was one of the best tanks in the game, and and it's something we just enjoy running. And said, you know what, let's win a game, let's run it. If it doesn't work, so be it. But
All right.
we were pretty sure we were going to get that one.
Yeah, it was a great aggressive round. You guys managed to kill Muradin early game a lot, which is a bit surprising because normally your kill pressure doesn't really come online until later, but you really had your CC chains working well, getting maximum value kind of off the Uther stun, the sleep dart, and then Raynor and Sylvanas just nuking down Raynor. So that was rather impressive. Late game, there were some moments that RGP looked like they might get it back. They had a 5-man team wipe on you at one point. How do you recover from that? You give up the 5-man team wipe. You give up a pretty healthy half-shield immortal and that you now have to defend. At that point, were you guys worried that, this is getting away from us? Or how do you kind of recenter and re-attack now, coming off that?
We just had to adjust team fight. We weren't prioritizing the Imperius as much as we should. And so anytime Imperius landed a good stun, that more or less sealed the fight for them. So it was finding Imperius early, and if I could find him and de-shield whoever was standing next to me at the time, even myself, it just kind of set us up a little bit better. I think they invaded after they got their keep. They come to invade, and that's when I was able to stun the Imperius before he lands the spear, and we were able to turn that fight and kind of reverse things again and change course.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just priorities in the team fight. Is that we were clumping a little bit too much and giving Imperius, good opportunities to capitalize on us being clumped. So
Right.
just adjustments, minor things. But no, I mean overall we felt like we were controlling team fights. It's Malthael with a nano boost is pretty nasty.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, with that, game 3 was Volskaya Foundry. You guys went with double warrior frontline there. What worked for you on that map, and what ultimately led to you getting the win?
Zydron playing Mephisto.
Fair enough.
No, right? Like Mephisto is one of those funny characters where even in regular Storm League games, people will ban it, and everybody will say, well, "Why are you banning Mephisto?" And it's people don't know how to play around the damage sometimes. And even if you do, and they seem to understand, they would try and spread out and keep themselves spaced. But if you get the damage through, there's just so much throughput that he can.
Right.
It's very difficult to deal with.
And
I don't think
there were some good routes there, definitely. If they didn't hit multiple targets, they at least split the members of RGP.
Yeah, and I don't think that. I don't think they were anticipating us running Ana as much as we did tonight. So that kind of played in their favor again. Was just you can nano.
Yeah, I thought the Ana was played very well that series. So. In both games, and it won both games it was in. So well done. Well, with that, certainly right now you guys are on the bubble. That win helps. What are your goals for the rest of the season? Is it playoff or bust, or looking ahead at your schedule? What are the goals?
Just keep playing. We took this game pretty seriously a number of seasons ago, and this season everybody's agreed to just we're playing it casual. We're not practicing regularly. We're just having a good time. So if we get there, we get there. If we don't, it's okay. We're nobody's yelling at each other. Nobody's tilted. It's a lot of just good times, friendly banter, and playing some heroes.
All right. Well, with that, the floor is yours for shoutouts.
Thank you for casting. Shout out to NGS for keeping the league going, and GG's all around. Hopefully, we'll continue playing and make the playoffs. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, with that, thank you all for watching. I'm now going to take a second and see which caster to throw it to. Let me take a gander here. What do I got? We have Ooh, we take these. No, that one's not live at the moment. Spectrum, I think, has a good game. Let's check out. Let me make sure NyQuil Fiend is live, actually. Yeah, NyQuil Fiend is live. About to jump into a game 2. That game has some playoff seeding implications for Division E, so I'm going to throw it over to them. So thank you all for watching. Take care.